In no way were these men acting under orders.
Framed by the government.
Killed him.
And marked for death.
We're not soldiers anymore. We're fugitives. The losers.
That's not like foreboding at all.
On April 23rd, revenge
Is volatile.
is for losers.
Thank you.
From the Diesel Cafe in Davis Square, this is the Post Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
And we're one day away from the Independent Film Festival of Boston, but we thought we'd get a head start and talk about a couple of films. In this show, we're going to discuss Erasing David, and John, whatever you've seen.
No, we talking about festival movies or regular movies?
One festival film and The Losers.
I'll just talk about The Losers.
Okay.
I haven't seen Erasing David.
Okay.
I think that was one of the ones you were looking forward to, though, right?
I was.
And now that you've seen it, are you still?
No, definitely not so enthused by it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I just didn't think it was riveting at all.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of, well, they tried to manufacture drama, and it just didn't seem to work.
Tell the people a little bit about what it's about.
Well, this fellow by the name of David Bond decides that he's had it with people keeping tabs on him and keeping information on him, like banks and private companies and the government. So he decides to basically go off the grid for 30 days. He's going to completely erase himself from, or at least try to, from being contacted or to have anybody try and locate him. So the gist of the movie here is that so he's off the grid for 30 days, and he employs two private investigators to try and locate him. Really diligent, the best private investigators.
Well, it doesn't sound manufactured so far, Steve.
No, it's pretty manufactured. To try and locate him, and so he. In the process of being essentially missing for 30 days, he's also going to try and find out what information these companies are holding on him. Mm-hmm. So while trying to erase himself, he's also trying to actively find out what everybody knows. And in this process of running, every time he makes a cell phone call, these guys are able to find him. Anytime he sends an email or is in an internet cafe, they're able to find him. And they're able to, get a fair amount of information about him from the web, and also sort of anticipate where he's going to be, in addition to, of course, where he has been. But the thing that just really sort of it's disinterested me, it was when he thought he was close to being found. He seemed like so nervous, like these private investigators were gonna, kill him or something like that. Like it's some sort of a murder mystery.
Him and
it's not. There's absolutely no tension.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting film in the sense that it's very informative about, and maybe discomforting about what other people know,
right,
and the level at which the British government and companies in England are able to go to find out things about you and your family, and in this case, David Bond's daughter. But him being found by the private investigators wasn't, David would get all nervous. Oh my God, he's at his father's house. He wouldn't even answer the door, and his father. And it's just, it
doesn't sound like something I'm going to make a lot of time in my schedule to go see.
No, I wanted to like this movie, but I can't really recommend it from a dramatic standpoint. I think from an information standpoint, it's neat, kind of revealing, but the manufactured drama really wasn't anything to be nervous about. Was kind of lame. I did appreciate the score though by Michael Nyman.
Who's that?
He's a composer of End of the Affair.
Okay, that's a pretty
Ravenous,
big deal.
Gattaca, The Libertine. So he's composing music for
that's quite a
documentary.
resume. Ravenous, Gattaca, The Libertine.
And now Erasing David.
Yeah. Do you think this will end up in theaters? Do you think it's going to be a?
I don't know. Yeah. It's already on Comcast. So
okay, that's where you start.
Yeah.
But people shouldn't see it on Comcast. They really should go to the festival.
Sure.
Be in a room full of other people who are either scratching their head or cheering or, totally bamboozled by.
Maybe it'll have a different effect, with people in the theater. I just wasn't feeling it.
Right.
I really wanted to like it, though. I was very interested, in how deep how Facebook could really reveal so much about people, and how someone who was trying to find somebody could really put together all these pieces about someone's life without even ever having actually met them.
Well, it's funny. Before becoming a critic, I was a reporter. And even back then, this is 25 years ago, if you wanted, let's say I knew your phone number, or I had a phone number, I could get what they used to call a reverse telephone directory, where you looked up the number and it gave your person's name and address. There were always tricks of the trade. I went to reporter seminars 20 years ago where they tell you how to use how you could find someone's credit card information using, books and the internet and stuff like that. So it's not a new thing. It's just because it's a lot easier for everyone to do it. And this guy seems to be doing the opposite. Most people, Google themselves to see what there is of themselves out there, not try to hide it or erase it. So, but I think I'll skip it. Yeah, if it comes out in movie theaters, I might go see it. But
what'd you think of The Losers?
Well, I had the exact opposite. Here's a movie you were looking forward to, and it was sort of disappointing. You mean in Erasing David?
Yeah.
And when I saw the preview for the trailers, I was like, oh, this looks terrible.
For The Losers.
Sorry.
Right.
When I saw the trailer for The Losers, I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this looks terrible. And you know what? I had a blast. It was dumb, but it was smart. It was funny, but there was lots of action. The acting was pretty good all around. I loved not Neil Patrick.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick is the bad guy? Yeah.
Really? I spoke with a couple people afterwards, and they had problems with him. They thought that he was the weak point.
Oh, no. I thought he was delicious.
Really? Why?
I loved his delivery. It was just offbeat enough, and not just offbeat quirky, but like his rhythms were off it, that he delivered the lines, and I thought they were funny. Did I think he was scary? No, but I liked every time he was on the screen.
Well, that's the problem, I think, is that he has a couple moments towards the beginning of the film where you really are jarred by what he does. And, they establish him as the bad guy in a way that you are a bit taken aback by a couple things he does.
Yeah.
But his sense of humor makes him almost likable in a way that makes him seem not so very threatening or evil, like everything's a joke.
Right.
And this movie is as much a comedy as it is an action film.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Peter Berg, who is the director of Very Bad Things and Friday Night Lights, co-wrote this screenplay. And you can his thumbprints are all over it. It's that kind of over macho comedy, where it's a shot head is the punchline for as many jokes as anything else.
It definitely has a style.
Yeah,
it has a style. For those who were unfamiliar with The Losers, as I found out the day before yesterday that it was based on a comic. I saw this promotional comic that they're distributing in stores. I saw that the other day. It looked pretty cool. I got interested a week or two ago when I saw the trailer. I guess it plays pretty close to the comic because many of the images fade into what is, basically an on-screen comic, just like Marvel does in a way. So it's about this CIA special ops team that sent to Bolivia, and they're betrayed, framed by the government, basically set up, left behind, left for dead, basically.
Right.
And they are kind of, pretty pissed off. To say the least.
And so they find a way back.
Thought to be dead.
They want to get revenge. They want to get their name back, get back to their families, all those other, kind of cliche things. But and they hook up with
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana. Zoe
Good
Hubba
Lord,
Hubba.
this is about as sexy as it gets.
Yeah.
Good God.
And she kicks ass too.
Yeah, she does.
But she finds a way to get them. She bankrolls their efforts to get back in the country and get back at the bad guy, Jason Patrick. Tons and tons of action. All of it way over the top. A lot of like really funny slow motion stuff. Mm-hmm. Like it's bad Sam Peckinpah. But I like that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like it's definitely a candy colored pop fun kind of movie. It has its comic book violence that's kind of super violent at a couple of times, but it's amusing. Chris Evans definitely has some of the standout funny parts, and this is gonna.
And it's about time. He's a likable actor. I don't think he's ever going to win an Oscar or anything else, but he's a likable guy. He was likable in the Fantastic Four movie as the Human Torch.
Likable. Not good in Cellular. That was
what?
Cellular was
Cellular was an awful
Abs. That
movie.
was just trash.
And then
Unbelievable.
that one he did with Dakota Fanning was bad too. He's been in
I
a
don't
lot
recall.
of turkeys. Yeah. Well, it's not even worth us looking up on the computer. He's been in a ton of turkeys. But he's got a
experience.
hilarious scene here, and all I'll say was
And go ahead.
It involves the Journey song.
It'll
which
bring
was-
the journey back.
Which was stuck in my head until this morning. I woke up with that freaking song in my head this morning, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was,
hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so
It's worth seeing again.
you know, everyone in here, none of the actors really get a ton of screen time because there's so many of them, but they all, I think, chew the scenery pretty well.
Yeah, Columbus Short.
Which one was that?
He's not the guy. There's one guy in their group, which is led by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. How would you describe him? I don't know. He's
Jeffrey
basically
Dean
the
Morgan?
he's the raspy, battle-hardened leader of the group.
World
that,
weary, you know,
yeah, that,
ready to give it all up.
Everybody's putting their.
No one believes it for a second.
Yeah, they're following him. They're following him. He's the leader. He's going to take them back into the real world.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is not completely down with it.
Is that the guy you were talking about?
Idris Elba.
Okay. He's from
Rogue.
The Wire, right?
I think so. He's at odds with Jeffrey D. Morgan, but it's the other guy, not Chris Evans,
Pooch.
but Pooch. He's really good. I liked him. Saw him a couple weeks ago in Quarantine, which I had not seen before, and I thought it was terrific. So yeah, that was he was fun. Oscar Jacinda, also the guy with the hat, the Spanish guy with the
Quiet guy.
Yeah, the quiet marksman. Also very good. But how would you describe Jason Patric's character? He's an arms dealer, or just some sort of evil international businessman.
Yeah,
of sorts.
he's just an evil jerk. You know, I mean, his whole thing is not that he's so much. He wants to. He hires people to make these. Like eco terrorist bombs. They can destroy an island but not leave any, bad stuff behind. And what he does is he hires guys to make 4 or 5 of these things, and he just wants to sell them to groups that he knows will use them.
Right.
He doesn't have any political slant to what he's doing. He gets a lot of money, sure, but he really just wants to kind of like upset the apple cart and see what's going to happen next, because the world's out of balance, and he's going to he's basically going to wipe the slate clean and start over. So I kind of like the fact that he didn't have much of an agenda besides being a jerk.
No, he was pretty straight up, and his sense of humor is keen and dry and amusing. I think every scene that he's in this movie is played for laughs, because he never really delivers a line in such a straight way as to frighten someone, but he delivers it in such a way as to really emphasize the fact that he knows he's being funny, even with the people he's trying to
without winking at
screw
the
over.
audience or trying to he's just being funny, and the fact that they give him like a deformed hand and don't explain anything about it, even when the first time you see, like, he's wearing a glove in every scene, and then you see him without a glove and his hand's deformed, and you're like, what's going on here? But they never explain it, and you're like, oh, that must be for the sequel. And the way it ends, you know there's going to be a sequel, but this makes $10 over its budget.
Well, it was moderately produced. It was a Joel Silver, Dark Castle production. Not a huge, it's not one of their, tentpole pictures, but if it makes a certain amount of money, I can certainly see them going ahead with doing a
And I think it's key
sequel.
that, and I'll bet Joe Silver planned this, that it's being released a few weeks before the 18.
It did have an 18 feel to it.
Yeah, because if it had come out after 18, this would be the 18 ripoff.
Yeah.
But by sneaking into theaters under the radar now, what's it opening against? A J-Lo movie?
Well, Kick-Ass is still going to bring in some business in J-Lo.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just new releases. There's a J-Lo movie, there's Disney's Oceans, and there's...
It's a fine time for it.
Yeah, I think it's
seems
going
to
to,
fit.
even if it just sneaks in and takes 2 weeks box office, 2 big weeks, it'll make back its money. It'll be a big hit on DVD. Joel Silver lines his pockets again, and then I bet it gets greenlit for a sequel like right away.
It's not this. In no way is it this to end all movie, but the audience we saw it with really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
and it's really playful. I mean, it's really a comedy. I think of it as a comedy, even though the action was pretty cool. The characters are pretty, standard. They're in a way winking at the camera too. It's all done.
Yeah.
It's all done for the fun of it. So it's a good time. I guess I would recommend paying $10 for it.
I will. I will go back and see this a second time, just for giggles.
This guy Peter Berg. He's doing the live-action version of Battleship.
The board game?
The board game being made into a film.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, he's already. They did a
Battleship.
some sort of a press event earlier this year. I forget, where they actually invited journalists aboard.
E7, You Sank My Battleship. That
Exactly.
is a movie. Is going to be a movie.
Yep.
Is there?
From,
is it the last idea in the drawer, and there's nothing left after that?
Parker Brothers is turning their board games into movies.
Shoots and Ladders. Is that a movie yet?
I think Candyland's going to be. I really do.
Is Robin Williams in that? It just seems like a Robin Williams thing, right?
It's like Robin Williams, Willy Wonka thing. But they're gearing up for Battleship, and they've already done some press stuff for it. So that's his.
That's crazy.
That's Peter Berg's baby.
Well, good luck delivering
So
that.
maybe there's something about the losers that's in the action in that be a bit of a
Yeah,
foreshadowing
because
as to what
Berg
we're going
didn't
to see.
direct it. He just wrote. He co-wrote the script, so
produced it.
we'll have to see what he does. He's a good director. I like Friday Night Lights. I like
Love
Very
Friday
Bad
Night
Things.
Lights.
And he did the Iraqi movie with Jamie Foxx and I'm forgetting the name of it. Remember, it was Jamie Foxx. I think it was Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, Jennifer Beal. No, not Jennifer Beal. What am I talking about?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer.
Garner.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Garner. Yeah, you're right.
What movie was that?
Oh man,
it wasn't based on a board
Now we're
game.
both drawing a blank.
Yeah.
It was like. Christ, I can
Kingdom?
see
Something
the
with
Kingdom.
Kingdom in it?
Very good,
Kingdom?
John. Very
Okay.
good. I was very close to saying The Fountain, but
No, that was
my
something
brain was going.
totally different. That was totally
Okay.
different, but equally enjoyable in its own way. So I would definitely recommend seeing The Losers, on a break between screenings at the Independent Film Festival of Boston, You can't, you can save it till after the festival, but I'm sure it'll still be in theaters, but it's definitely worth seeing.
Does that Banksy film open Friday?
Banksy?
The Exit Through the Gift Shop?
Yeah.
Early and limited, I guess it's opening here in Boston, but they are doing there's a preview screening on Thursday.
Wednesday, wasn't it?
Well, Wednesday and Thursday.
They're doing one Thursday?
I believe.
No, I got stuff to do. If I've heard great things about it, I'll try to catch it. But I'm festival. After I write the reviews for this week, I'm just steady festival diet until, I might not even go to the Brendan Fraser animal comedy.
No. Oh, that's the other one. Don't even.
That's Saturday at 10 a.m. for all the press who. What's that called again?
Frightening. Furry
something?
Vengeance. Yeah,
Furry Vengeance.
Yeah, I'm committed to the festival too. Actually, obviously, 7 o'clock on Thursday, I'm planning on Harmony and Me.
All right.
So
Well,
that'd be the one I'll.
but we.
Do you have a plan for Thursday night?
No.
Do you have a date, John? Do you have a date for Thursday night?
No. No. If anyone wants to sit next to a lonely critic, you know where to find us at post-movie.net.
Rock and roll.
I'll be there sometime Thursday. You can find me. All right, so we done here?
We are done. Until tomorrow.
Sign off.
I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
Adios.